6 o'clock right here on Big Breakfast. Today FM, today's hit music.
Hey, I'm Pauline.
And I'm Alan. Tune in to the Breakfast Show on Today FM with Pauline and I every weekday morning
from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
Today FM, today's hit music.
In this bulletin, heavy rain forces closure of Raki town and some roads. Dismac opens 2 evacuation centres in Korovo Tailevu. And government continues negotiations with World Rugby for Sevens TV coverage. But first up in our news, the Vodafone Fiji Sevens side is on track to defend its title at the Dubai Sevens. The national side has qualified for the Cup quarterfinals after it breezed through the first 2 pool games, thrashing France 54-7 and defeating Brazil 36-5. Argentina posed the toughest challenge for the defending champions, but Fiji managed to escape with the 33-21 victory. Fiji will now meet Wales in the Cup quarterfinals at 8 p.m. We'll have more on this in our sports bulletin. The government is coordinating with relevant agencies to address flooding caused by heavy rainfall in parts of the northwest of Viti Levu and the Central Division. Ellen Stahls reports.
Residents living in some parts of Tavua and Raki were greeted by heavy rain and flooding this morning. A heavy rain warning remains in force for eastern half of Viti Levu, Lomai Viti Group, eastern Vanua Levu, northern Lau Group, Tailevu and nearby smaller islands.
It's not going to develop into a tropical cyclone. We expect this situation to persist a little bit further for today, but we expect the rains and the convergence to die down a little bit from tonight, and we expect the situation to improve from tomorrow.
Meanwhile, residents in low-lying areas of Tavua had to evacuate due to rising water levels. As of 10 a.m. this morning, Raki town was closed and the RA Special Administrator, Kelepi Kumbanametha, says there is a traffic jam as motorists are unable to travel.
We have a traffic jam along Raki town to Raki village. As you know, that as I'm speaking now, there's no vehicle cannot cross that FBC flat. So my vehicle and my team has been going around and sending them if they could go home early from this morning. Right now there's traffic jam along that line. Those who travel from Suba to Lautoka through Raki, and also from Lautoka to Suba through Raki and Korovo. And I'm speaking now, I'm sending our team, if they can also liaise with the principal of Penang High School, to stand by for evacuation center for those possible passengers who might be stranded along the way.
Weather is expected to clear by late tomorrow. Ellen Stahls, FBC News.
The Disaster Management Office has opened 2 evacuation centres in Korovo as water levels are still rising. Dismac says their teams are on the ground to assess the situation and will be opening more evacuation centres based on the assessment report. Rishika Kumar reports.
Water levels are rising and the Weather Office is predicting more rain in the next 24 hours. This has affected most on the Central and the Eastern Division, especially areas in Reki and Korovo. National Disaster Management Director Manasatangi Vakibao says, as for now, Namalata District School and the church in Londoni Village are the 2 main evacuation centres in Korovo. This is to cater for people stranded in Korovo.
Our main concern now is the Korovo flats. The Korovo flats is flooded at the moment. And commuters along the Kingside Highway are stranded on both sides.
The office is liaising with district offices and will be establishing more evacuation centres later tonight. The Commissioner Central's office has deployed officials to villages to ensure Fijians receive the necessary assistance. Meanwhile, residents living in River Road, Darere Suva were surprised to wake up to at least 2 feet of water in their homes. One resident told FBC News that they had to move to higher grounds by wading through about 5 feet of water. When Damundamunosori is under 3 feet of water and the Rewa River is still rising. The police is urging the public not to travel on water-logged roads.
Just our warning to all motorists that are traveling around Kings Road towards Korobo Telebu and towards Nausoris underwater at this moment in time, and we would like to give a caution that we are not expecting people to cross that portion of the road at this moment in time, and also warning to those that are down at deep water areas. The Wembula Creek is also increasing and it's about to overflow at its bank at this point in time. Since we still have daylight, I hope that we can take precaution at this moment in time is just to move to higher grounds rather than late. That is just a warning from the Fiji Police Force.
As in other parts of the Central and Eastern Division, it has been continuously draining here in Bustia Road, Nosori, since last night. Residents tell FBC News that the road has been under 2 feet of water. The Weather Office forecasts that rain will continue for the next 2 days. The Dispatch Office is urging people to exercise safety and not to go in fast-moving waterways. Rashika Kumar, FBC News.
Meanwhile, police are searching for a man who is believed to have drowned while trying to swim across the Vorovoro River in Tailevu. Police Chief of Operations ACP Rusiate Tunravu says a team of officers is at the scene searching for the missing man. Police are warning the public to refrain from crossing or swimming in flooded creeks and rivers during the spell of bad weather. The government is maintaining its stand on the television decree despite an ultimatum from World Rugby on exclusivity, which has led to the Dubai Sevens blackout on television. Acting Prime Minister and Attorney General Said Qayyum says they are continuing negotiations and have received support from the New Zealand Rugby Union. Christopher Chand reports the government wants all television stations to broadcast major events to ensure access to all Fijians.
It's the first time that Fiji is being denied live television feed from the World 7 series at Dubai this weekend, despite last-minute submissions from the government.
As it stands, it won't be shown on live television. There is live coverage on radio on RF1 and Bula FM, but only for the Fijian games. Now, one of the propositions by World Rugby was, well, hang on, there's live streaming. But, how many people in New South Wales can get live streaming?
Said Qayyum explained the reasons behind the television cross-carriage decree, given the limitations of Fiji television's coverage.
At the moment, there's very poor coverage by Fiji TV in certain parts of Nosori, Savu Savu and Notoka. And you have full coverage by FBC. You have partial coverage by Fiji TV and full coverage by FBC in parts of Lambasa, interior parts of Mba, large parts of Tavua, parts of Savu Savu, parts of Navua and Dumba. There is no coverage by Fiji TV and full coverage by FBC in Raki-Raki, Nandarivatu, Korovo, Yasawas, Mamanudas.
However, there is some hope that submissions made by the New Zealand Rugby Union supporting the government will help put an end to this recent episode.
It's not of our doing. We are not the ones who pulled the plug. It's World Rugby that's pulled the plug. We are the ones who are saying that every rugby fan needs to get to see this game. We are the ones who have been working, in fact, literally day and night to try and get this coverage on. And as we are hoping right up to the last minute, just before 6 o'clock, to make sure it gets on so everybody can see it. And we will continue to work to ensure that we do get the series being shown to us.
The opposition has continued to criticize the government, but Syed Qayyum says they are personalizing the issue.
We need to stick together as a nation because we need to take a principled position. If we do not take a principled position on this matter, then we will always be sidelining, always marginalizing people who are on the fringes.
The government hopes World Rugby will be able to realize that the sharing of sevens on all 3 television stations will give Fijians equal access to this event. Without it, many parts of the country cannot watch the tournament, where there is no coverage of Fiji TV. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
Coming up, $50,000 allocated to implement the 5-year tourism development plan.
Bula FM nambando na serena iwan siningona ni batara ni sibiti ko bekianda na diwa na tini na miniti na may pakuriti ora bengrabe na nontan nonongo kanda na dabati ko ni rona kaloko ena kabende ndeba buli na tay wali ni may dabati ko na wani matakabo kan le bisarti ko na bisere talio ni na namaka ndo batati may kinena kenan daw ro di kanamaki Bula binaka Ayo salamilawa do bataki ya wana batara na wani dio na kaloko moni fiki no barumbuka ena Bula FM nambandua ena sere
Welcome back. This is FBC News. A 6-year-old boy has died after he was hit by a vehicle on Andi Davila Road in the Vuilevu Nakasi. The victim was selling cassava with his brother by the roadside when he allegedly suddenly ran across the road and was hit by a vehicle. He was rushed to the hospital where he died early this morning. Police are still looking for the vehicle involved. In another accident last night, a 48-year-old man was allegedly hit by a vehicle driven by a 22-year-old woman on the Queen's Road in Navo, Nandi. It is alleged the incident occurred when the victim was crossing the road. He died at the Nandi hospital. Government Member of Parliament VM Pillay supports the 2015 budget as its developments is improving the lives of ordinary Fijians in many ways. He says the budget is inclusive, smart and future-based, from getting tap water to all homes, especially in the outer rural areas who depend on wells, streams and rivers. VM adds the budget will also benefit cane farmers as it will provide funds for cane access roads. This is a big relief to farmers in the West.
Madam Speaker, for years, people have been thinking that the sugar industry will be written off. But the Bainimarama government and now Fiji First government has done a lot to improve the sugar sector. The future is bright, not bleak. The cane farmers and all those associated with the industry are very happy. Of course, academics and other critics who are not sugarcane farmers or those who use sugar cane as a political agenda really don't know what they are talking about.
Pillay also told Parliament how saddening it was to see the quality of debate, ideas and lack of vision from the opposition. However, he hopes their contribution quality improves next year. The government has allocated $50,000 to implement the 5-year tourism development plan. The development plan will kick in from 2015. Savara Tambor reports.
Achieving $2 billion Fijian in visitor earnings by 2020 is part of the Tourism Ministry's 5-year development plan. Assistant Minister for Tourism Lorna Eden told Parliament this week that this is one of the initiatives in the plan.
Speaker, we have also decided in our 5-year tourism development plan to shift our focus from the old, which was based more on increasing visitor numbers into the country, but rather now to increase visitor spend in the country. What this basically means is that instead of bringing in 1 million people who spend very little, we encourage quality people who will spend a lot.
The ministry has been allocated $100,000 to carry out an international visitor survey.
It will provide the ministry and key tourism stakeholders with the timely, comprehensive and accurate visitor information.
Tourism is the highest revenue earner for the economy and has contributed approximately 34.8% to the gross domestic product. The tourism industry had received $23.5 million in the 2015 budget. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
Government Whip Semi Koroila Visau says the 2015 budget is inclusive of all Fijians. While he commended a number of budget initiatives, he says more needs to be done in infrastructure.
We still have a huge backlog to clear, and we especially need to upgrade our bridges and jetties, in particular in the maritime areas. Madam Speaker, reducing the backlog and meeting the increasing expectation for improved services will require a much larger investment this year. This is a critical year of investment in our journey to see much better roads, much better water system, and modern standards throughout the country.
The parliamentary budget debate has concluded. Coming up in sports news, Fiji off to a good start in the Dubai Sevens tournament. And quarter-mile drag race postponed due to bad weather.
यू टर्न से मिर्ची एफएम पर रफ्तार में मैं आपके हम सफर साथी कृष्णील शामिल हो चुका हूं और पीजी में विदेश में आप जहां कहीं पर भी हमें सुन रहे हैं, कृष्णील का प्यार आप तमाम दोस्तों तक पहुंचे।
हेलो गाइस, मैं हूं डीजे कृष्णील। आप हमें सुन सकते हैं मिर्ची एफएम रफ्तार में मंडे टू फ्राइडे शाम 3 से लेकर रात 7 तक हम आपको रॉक कराएंगे। मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
अब दिल करता है हौले हौले से मैं तो खुद को गले लगा।
Welcome back. This is FBC Sports. The Vodafone Fiji men's opened its Dubai Sevens campaign with a 54-7 thrashing of France. The Ben Ryan coach side hit the ground running from opening whistle to get the highest scoreline on day one.
France kick off. Kalinas out, takes it, claimed immediately by Janet, but the offload was good, and now they put the foot on the gas, and the support play on the inside is very good indeed. Now Sila, away he goes, turning on a show in Dubai on day one, the Flying Fijians.
After disposing of Brazil in the second match with a 36-5 win, Fiji went up against a determined Argentina outfit. Fiji just managing to hold off the Pumas with a 33-21 victory.
Palm down the by Fiji. The Sonny Rocco it was. It's signed, sealed and delivered here by Osea Kolinisau.
Fiji's next game is at 8 p.m. against Wales. You can listen to a live commentary of that game on Bull FM and Radio Fiji 1 with Satish Narayan. The Telecom Fijiana side has settled for 6th spot in the Women's Sevens World Series. The Ilyas Atan Ivula coach side lost to England 19-12 in the plate final in Dubai. The result is an impressive finish for the Telecom Fijiana, featuring their first tournament as a core team. New Zealand leads the points table after defeating Australia 19-17 in the Cup final. The next leg of the Women's Series will be held in Brazil on February 7th and 8th next year. The Fiji men's basketball side finished in 7th spot in the Oceania Under-19 Championships at the Vodafone Arena. The host side collected the bronze medal in the B division after beating a determined American Samoa side. Chalindao Vakavaka reports.
First game 68-29.
The Fiji men's side was on a mission to finish the Oceania Basketball Championship on a high. It has been a tough journey for the young men, but the experience will be an immense learning curve for their development.
For this is our all development tournament, and I'm so proud with the boys to come out, putting their hands up to step in to come and play against top players from other countries. And they really stood out, even though we're lacking skills, we're lacking the knowledge. And I want to thank the boys for giving that fighting spirit to come back and win the last game.
American Samoa were no easy beat, and the hosts had to pull out all stops to come out with the win.
I told the boys we started low, and then I told them we better start doing something to get something back when you go home. And they did it. I really want to comment on their hard work. We really worked hard last night through the way to play a structured game to play against American Samoa, and they did it.
It's a remarkable achievement for the men's side and one that will go a long way to developing the young talents in the years to come. Talendo Kazak, FBC Sports.
The Fiji women's side also claimed the bronze medal in the B division of the Oceania Championship. Captain Tiana Kainamoli led her team to an 87-44 victory over Solomon Islands. The one-week tournament has been an eye-opening experience for the team.
It has been incredible. We are very pleased with what we have seen. We're very excited for the future of basketball here in Fiji. I've had the opportunity to work with an average of 15-year-olds, teaching them from the basics in less than 4 months, and for them to be able to come out here and play with seasonal players and with how they performed throughout this tournament. Everything, the losses came, but they've gained so much in the end.
Meanwhile, the women's final is still underway between Australia and New Zealand. The Trans-Tasman rivals will face off again in the men's final. The Kofina quarter-mile drag race that is to be held tomorrow has been postponed to a later date due to the bad weather experienced in the Central Division. This was to be the last race of the year for the Fiji Car Club at the Nanuku airstrip in Diumba. The new dates for the race will be announced early next week. Rain was experienced over most parts of the country today. Suva received 177 millimeters of rain, while Nandi received 0.2 millimeters to 9 a.m. today. A heavy rain warning remains in force for the eastern half of Viti Levu, Lomai Viti Group, and is now in force for eastern Vanua Levu, Taviuni and nearby smaller islands and northern Lau Group. An active trough of low pressure with associated cloud and rain lies slow moving over Fiji. Periods of heavy rain and squally thunderstorms for eastern half of Viti Levu, eastern Vanua Levu, Taviuni and nearby smaller islands, northern Lau and Lomai Viti Group. Heavy rain may lead to flooding in these areas. Temperatures were in the late 20s except Lambasa, which notched 31 degrees today. Tomorrow's outlook: periods of heavy rain and squally thunderstorms over eastern half of Viti Levu, eastern Vanua Levu, Taviuni and nearby smaller islands and Lomai Viti Group. Some showers elsewhere. And the further outlook is Monday's occasional rain over most places. The main points again: 2 evacuation centres have been opened in Koravo, Tailevu as heavy rain has threatened properties. Police are looking for a man who disappeared while trying to swim across the Voroboro River in Tailevu. And the Vodafone Fiji 7 side has qualified for the Cup quarterfinals after it breezed through the first 2 pool games. To our poll question for this week, we're asking: are you satisfied with the 2015 national budget? Visit our FBC website, www.fbc.com.fj, to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email, citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj, or share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply hashtag FBC News. That's our bulletin for today. Join us again tomorrow at the same time. Till then, good evening.